So, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I had to turn off the stream and start all over. And obviously now nobody is here anymore. So I will be streaming to myself. Let's see. This time works. I hope so. Because that was really not nice. Okay. So let me see this. So which Windows Lite has low RAM consumption but have WSL in Defender? Now, they all advertise that, I don't know what consumes more or less, or RAM, or, I mean, in the end, how much, for example, how much RAM do you have? Four gigabytes. Okay. And you need WSL for? Okay. Yes, I understand. Okay, this in principle doesn't need that much RAM, but for 4 gigabytes, you cannot expect much. You really cannot expect much in terms of performance, especially if you need WSL. And because in the end, you will have, it will gather. In the beginning, all of them, so after installation, all of them work perfectly, flawlessly, you know, but in time, you install one program, one app, and so on, they will all stop working, they will all get heavy after a time. So 4 gigabytes, you really need to upgrade, to make an investment and upgrade at least to 8. No matter what modded Windows 11 or Windows 10 you're running. In this day and age, 4 gigabytes is really the lowest limit, no matter what they advertise. I've seen thumbnails and I've seen pictures about modded Windows 11 that they consume 128 megabytes of RAM or 200 and so on. You will find videos like this a lot, but my opinion is that they are not real, or they are real just for that thumbnail or just for that tutorial, because sooner or later they will all start break and they will all start gathering more and more. For example, Tiny11 is a very efficient, as Ghost Spectre, for example, is also very efficient, but in time, after 6 months of using Ghost Spectre, and after installing DaVinci Resolve, after installing Adobe, after installing everything that I needed, okay, it was not that, how you say, that fast anymore. I mean, it was still pretty fast, but in the end, in time, Windows gather. So yeah, that's what I think. Of course, they are very good for low end. They are very good for low end devices, but from 4 gigabytes of RAM, you really cannot expect much. You need minimum 8 gigabytes so that you can have a decent performance. Okay, so as quick, so what happened? I made this live stream, but right in the middle it stopped. That's why this thumbnail has part 2, because I don't know what happened. My internet messed up, and now the live stream initially stopped at half. And now I will go on from here, and who knows, maybe tomorrow I will bind these two live streams together, and I will make a video tutorial out of it. And yeah, here it stopped last time. After I download and install Tiny11, and now I have to select the country, region, you know, all that. Skip. I don't have. Yes. But I already did this. And I did this in Rufus. Okay, yeah, I was confused right now. No. Look, for example, while installing Go Spectre, you don't need to do all this. Go Spectre took care to remove all this username stuff, all this location stuff. So if you would install Go Spectre, you'll have an easier experience of installation than with Tiny11 or the majority of them. The amount of detail that Go Spectre put in his versions of Windows is really above anyone else, I have to say. And I know that I make a lot of butt kissing when it comes with Go Spectre, but honestly also it deserves. Tiny11 in the end is just a de-bloated Windows 11, but Go Spectre took care of all the aspects. First of all, interface has a cool gamer interface. Has the toolbox, which is very helpful, very easy to use. It's really bare bone. It has absolutely nothing. You can install Defender if you want or not. In rest has absolutely nothing. The updates are paused for 50 years, so you don't need to make updates if you don't want to. And this is what I was trying to explain yesterday, comparing with all the other ones out there, even with Revi OS, which was, you know, had a little custom style. Go Spectre is really in the lead. Okay, so finally this is done, and connect. Crashed or what? Oh, come on, seriously, what's going on now? Okay. so turn off, and I will just try again. Okay, so this is Tiny11, and this is how you download and install it in 2 streams. So what can we see here? Task Manager, Performance. Now 118 processes, 1% utilization, memory. So right out of the bat, from 4 gigs of RAM, it consumes 1.9. Again, like I said yesterday when I installed GoSpectre, this can also be because this is a virtual machine and not directly and not installed on a device, on a PC or a laptop. Most probably, if you install it on if you make a fresh install on a device, on a laptop or an old laptop, old PC, even old or new, it's egal. The memory, I guess it will be less, the memory usage. That's why I don't take this much in consideration, the memory 1.6, because I guess it has to do with the virtual machine. Now, I cannot make now an installation on a device because I don't have a camera set up and everything. Who knows, maybe in the future. But right now, well, even if you have 4 gigabytes minimum, in the end I cannot say this because now it's empty. If you install some apps and everything and YouTube and browsing and yeah, 4 gigabytes is really minimal. Everybody, you need a minimum 8 gigabytes of RAM to have, like I said, a decent experience. Now let's see what it all has. No, not File Explorer settings. First of all, updates. No updates available. Okay. I'm also not connected to the internet here. Another thing that I had no problem yesterday with GoSpectre. Apps, installed apps. Okay, so you have calculator, I don't know why. Edge update, OneDrive, Store, Notepad, Paint, Sticky Notes, Terminal, Windows Security. Why? I have no idea. I mean, yeah, these are stuff that you use, but these are also stuff that you could install it afterwards if you really need. For example, again, I bring GoSpectre in the discussion because that's the way you compare it. That's the best out there, in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion, it's GoSpectre is the best out there. And here is another proof of why. So, that was Tiny11. That was it. Not much going on, to say it like this. It's a very simple, straightforward installation with not much wow to present afterwards. It's a deep bloated Windows 11. That's it. Nothing special. Comparing with, I say again, GoSpectre. And yeah, I already have a video about comparing GoSpectre with Windows 11, and people who watch my videos know one thing, that I like Chrome OS and I hate Chrome OS Flex, and I like Ghost Spectre, and I'm not that big of a fan of other modded Windows 11. But yeah, it is what it is, and thanks for watching.